Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Insights. Today we're talking about crypto marketing insights. Just thought I'd put up a little photo there of a funny meme, uh, funny little video there I saw about some memes. You might enjoy them. It's up here on the YouTube. Link will be in the description. And just to give you guys a quick heads up, the market is sitting at $112 billion, down a little bit from yesterday. If you remember, it was around 114. Now it's around 112. Down, Bitcoin's down about 1.4%. XRP's down 6.5%. And so much for that news about Swift. You'd think that would make bigger impact. That's amazing. That's like a game-changing move. That Swift is using XRP. I think that's incredible news. Basically, that's like a victory for the folks at Ripple, right? That's a big victory. I mean, they've had many victories along the way, but that's definitely a noteworthy one when your main rival or your main competitor, or the reason for your corporate existence, really, I don't want to call them a nemesis or anything, but like Swift is kind of the nemesis of Ripple. I mean, Ripple exists to solve payment solutions and reducing things like costs, and Swift is, this massive cost burden to people. And with Ripple's solutions like XRP, those costs can be cut significantly. So it's interesting. You'd think that the news that Swift is going to experiment using XRP would be big news. You'd think that would be, I mean, it is, but you'd think that would be market like very significant news, right? That should be something that could definitely change people's perspective of that cryptocurrency for sure. So I find it very interesting and very telling that it hasn't changed very much, the price. And in fact, after the price went up a little bit, like 8%, which was pretty nice, it has come back down. Most of that gain is gone. So it's kind of weird. But what can you do? That's, hello real world. Sometimes people just don't react the way you think. That has a lot to do with groupthink and group psychology and the way the herd moves. Like, if you had said that, I don't know, Google Google was going to start using Yahoo's software, right, for something. Do you think that would positively impact Yahoo's software price or Yahoo's price? Probably, right? Like if it was, they decided globally they're going to replace their algorithm with Yahoo's next version because Yahoo's is better. Do you think that would improve Yahoo's market price? Even in a down market, right? Probably, right? Maybe in a down market it wouldn't lift it up as much as it could, but it would, it would definitely go very, very much higher up from near the all-time lows that it's sitting at, right? But not in this market, which shows a lot about the groupthink mentality, right? Part of it is that the applications aren't ready. Part of it is people have no idea how to use this stuff, right? Because the applications that do exist are not friendly, and that's, again, part of the problem with the applications not being ready. You want to market your crypto project, you better have projects that are ready, right? I work on a number of projects, and the ones that have something on the market all do better than the ones that don't. And the ones who are getting close to having something on the market all have much better prospects than the ones who are still a year away or more from getting anything out there. Now, that isn't to say that in a year or more things won't be invented and updated. Of course they will be. That's the beauty of innovation. It doesn't stop. But if you are in business for a year or more without a product in the crypto market during a bear market, you are setting yourself up for harder times, right? Like, this is the time to build and deploy and start building your market share and start building whatever you can. Start getting traction. This is the time. Right now, when people are slow and sleepy and ignoring the amazing opportunity, this is literally the opportunity. Again, I'm not giving anybody financial advice and all that stuff. This is a marketing show, so I don't even have to really say that other stuff, but I'll say it again. Do your own research. Crypto is speculative. If you're interested in it, good for you. I hope you enjoy it and have a great time in it. I'm not responsible for your actions. This is for my entertainment only. So that's that. But the point is, if you're going to get into crypto, you should not be wasting your time dawdling around and not delivering product and service. Whatever you're offering, you could be, I don't care if you're selling crypto secretarial services, okay? You're an online work-at-home mom, and you have literally like the ability to be a virtual assistant, and you sell your services on like, Upwork or Fiverr or one of those, places, or 99 Designs, or wherever you sell your stuff, okay? Or you have an Etsy site and you sell handmade jewelry or whatever, and you accept Bitcoin on your other website where you sell a copy of the same thing, and you've got, a little QR code with your Bitcoin address set up on your webpage, and you've got, a link to your Etsy site also if you want to pay in fiat through Etsy and all that, so you got yourself a little setup there. And you sell your service, whatever it is, your product, whatever it is, and you accept Bitcoin, right? If that's your business model, right? First of all, fantastic, good for you. Like, not everybody is interested in being part of the corporate juggernaut world. I get that, and I fully respect that. I think that's awesome, and I even admire that. Working from home or wherever you are, being a digital nomad, or being a stuck-at-home person who has no other choice, but you're still productive and you're creative and you do something, that's awesome. And that is great if you're working in marketing, or if you're marketing anything that you're working on, good for you that you have the knowledge that, hey, man, you're connected to the internet. You can market anything you want. You just have to be smart about it. And right now, right, it's the same thing with crypto. You're connected to the internet and you're connected to crypto. You can market it anywhere you want, and you can just have to be smart about it. So if you're marketing your secretarial or work-at-home physiotherapy service, or, I don't know, whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing. You're a dog sitter. You're a gardener. I don't care. Accept crypto, right, as part of what you accept, because you can always, even if you don't like crypto, you can at least accept it as a form of payment and convert it to fiat if you're more comfortable with fiat. Because I get that. Some people are still not. They're not comfortable with the volatility in crypto. I think they're doing the math wrong. But that's my opinion. And yeah. So the volatility freaks people out. And so some people prefer fiat. So collect fiat, no problem. But you can also collect crypto and immediately convert it, right? You can accept stable coins, which are effectively crypto versions of fiat money. And you can, as long as you do the withdrawal right away, well, you just convert your money from that stable coin into regular fiat. That's good too. But obviously you wouldn't be listening to this show if you're not into crypto, right? So if you are into crypto, right, and you are collecting in crypto payments, like, this is the time, right? And this is the time. This is the song, right? This is the time to do that. Right? Always when you're at market lows. Yeah, I'm not talking about if investors say, "Oh, I have to buy the." I don't care about if you buy the low or whatever. I'm talking about marketing. When the market is at near lows or at lows, as it is now, it clearly at a low, right? It lost like 80-90% of its value from 13 months ago. We're now at the point where we're in the first time ever that Bitcoin has fallen down 6 months in a row, I believe. Right? I believe that is the case. If we look at the all-time trading chart, trading view, go to trading view. Let's just open that one up for you guys. And if you look just at the, well, yeah, whatever. BTC USD. Let's look at the old Bitstamp. It's not the longest one in the world, but actually, if you look at the full one, if you look at the full chart, you can also see it. But even on Bitstamp, you can see way as far back as I think 2012. Let's just look at the monthly. And you can see here, monthly. Okay, from as far back as 2011, when they were doing tracking on Bitstamp. Right, so before 2011, this also hadn't happened. You can look it up yourself on like 99 Bitcoins. They have a linear graph, but you can look it up month by month. But this is just easier to see. And you can count the red months and the green months one after the other. And you can easily see that this is the very first time we've had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6. We've had now, yeah, not 5, but 6 full months, and we're starting the 7th month down. We had 6 full months in a row going down. That has never happened on Bitcoin before, ever. Okay, no, thanks. Thank you. I love you, TradingView, but not right now. Don't show me the ads. I mean, I still love you now, but don't show me the ads now. Thank you. It's never been down 6 months in a row. It's not just the longest bear market now as of today. Right? We now passed, what is it, 420 days? Isn't that ironic? Something like that, 400, 425, 400, something like that, whatever the number of days is. I believe, what was it, a few weeks ago, I predicted that, yeah, January 26th to 28, we'd start seeing the next crumble. I'm not saying I'm a predictor because I'm not, and I'm not a technical analyst. I think it was pretty obvious that that was going to happen. Of course, you can never know 100%, but some things are pretty obvious, and that one pretty much was. I'm certainly not the only one who predicted that, right? Like pretty much every solid TA out there was reporting that market makers and other senior analysts who'd been in this stuff for, a long time had also said it was going to fall during that time range. And it seemed kind of obvious to me. I think a lot of people predicted it would wait another week or two, but so what? Like, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong about that stuff. And again, unless you're in it for the short-term gains, it really doesn't matter if the price moves up or down in any given day. It only matters how it moves up during the longer term that you're invested in it. Right? That's what matters, not the short term. Like, you got to get the short term out of your head. But again, the point is, right? Look at that. That is the first. That is a first time we've ever seen that. There are no marketing strategies that exist in the past 10 years that take into consideration Bitcoin's price is going to fall for 6 months. Because it hasn't happened. They were all theoretical ideas. Not one of them was practical. So what do we do about that? Bitcoin's sitting at 33.83 and 90 cents. Oh, 33.81. Right? Basically 33.34. What are you going to do about that if you're running a business that uses crypto? All of this stuff, all of this area here, all of this stuff here is all gone. All these profits, everything from back in August of 17. Everything since then, since August of 17, if you invested money in Bitcoin since August of 17, you haven't made $1 on it, right? Unless obviously I'm speaking about hodling. If you're a trader, you might have made millions and billions, I don't know, whatever. Yes, not a problem. But it is absolutely gone if you were like a long-term hodler. So think about it. Think about it. Think about it. If you have the ability to accept crypto and include it in your blockchain marketing projects, this is really a great time. And why do I say that? Well, Wave patterns, right? Look at that. When the wave shot up here in 2014 and then went back down again, yeah, everybody who was back here up in 2014 thought, oh no, it's going to die again. But then it didn't. And it immediately, well, within a half a year or so, after a few months of a downtrend, it started slowing down its crash and going down and down and down. It would seem like it's going sideways, very familiar what's going to happen. And eventually it went hyperbolic in 2017, right? So it took a couple of years. It took even a few years. People forget that. People really forget that. Like, the last bull cycle, the crazy part happened in a few months, right? And even less, in a couple of months, the insane part happened. But like even before that, a steady long-term growth was going on for about a year and a half, like from the start of 2016, really. And even from, you could argue, from mid-2015, it started to just go up and up and up, right? So the climb was from mid-2015 to the end of 2017. That's 18-month bull run. Okay, but before that, you had an 18-month bear, right? And it really, the bull run didn't recover past the point of the previous all-time high until actually January of 17, right? So really, the bull run was only a year. From January 17 till December, or January, December 8 and 17, or January 18, depending on how you look at that, okay? So it was a one-year bull run. And it took it took 3 years to get from the previous all-time high back to that state. So if you look at, oh, yeah, and you can go back further and do something similar. But that previous one, the most recent drop, right? I guess we're looking at it here, at the all-time price, right? That means that this, well, let's get rid of the, we don't need that here. That means that this dip here, from 20,000 to 3,000, I know it's not logarithmic, that's for a reason, so you can visualize. Man, just make this thing go away, trading view. This dip could easily flatten out here or even down a little bit or whatever. Doesn't really matter, right? There's only 3,000 left out of the 20 that was lost. If you invested up here or up here, like all of this was a loss. So there isn't that much more to lose before it gets to nothing, and you could scoop it all up, frankly. And people are accumulating now and buying a dollar cost average and figuring, well, keep buying if you believe in this stuff. I'm doing too much technical analysis I'm not a technical analyst. I'm just showing you what seems to me logical for marketing purposes, okay? It means that you are on a timeline right now where we've been down for 13 straight months, pretty much. There's been a few up months along the way, yes, but not really much. And basically, this has been the longest bear market in Bitcoin's history, and now the most consecutive months ever of Bitcoin's price falling. It's never fallen 6 months in a row. This is the first time that's ever happened. We are now in uncharted territory, right? So now you have another, after 13 months, you have another at least 5 months, if you are looking at patterns this way, before we may see something similar, like the beginning of a long, steady climb, okay? Which means Bitcoin price might not go, somewhere around August, I guess, July, August, something like that. Maybe around here, maybe around, who knows where I don't know where the price is going to be. I'm just randomly putting my mouse on the right month. Maybe it'll start going sideways around here for a while. And it could easily go sideways until like January of 21. right? 2 more years of sideways action. Because again, that would not be unlike what it's done here from 2014 to 2017. It was basically slumping a little bit and going sideways, right? It was just like a slack line. Well, we could easily see a 3-year slack line from 2000 and the beginning of 2018 until the beginning of 2021. That would be 3 years. That would be a slack line where we would expect to be right around here, roughly around 20,000 again. Where was that 20,000 mark? Up here, okay. So 20,000 mark. We could be up here again, maybe, if patterns have anything to do with relevance, by end of 2020, start of 2021. Could it also fall to zero? No, well, yes, but I don't think it's going to, because, well, I know I would buy them, as many as I could, and I know a bunch of other people who would too. So I don't know how it could get to zero as long as there's people willing to pay even a penny for them, and I would definitely be willing to pay a penny or whatever, or $1, or whatever the hell they would in your fantasy world. If you're a Bitcoin collector, that would be a great price, but not really if you want it to grow in value. So I don't think it's going to go to that price. I think it will very likely, and could, oh, by the way, could it spike higher than 20,000 within the next 2 years? Yes, of course. Absolutely. Like, obviously, whales can spike the price. It wouldn't be hard, You could even do an experiment, by the way. Well, I mean, if you have a lot of money, you could do an experiment and see what it would take for you to spike the price, right? If you really have a lot, you just want to see what it costs to move the price one way, and then also to try to sustain a price movement. Right? I don't believe that there's anyone out there who's really going to be throwing that kind of cash at a market to sustain the entire market's movement for hours or days. But definitely the price can be manipulated, because by definition, when you invest, you're manipulating. So yeah, that's what it is. Not in a bad way. That's just the definition of using the market. Offering prices and accepting prices. That's manipulation. So anyway, the point is, and I really spoke way. I'm sorry, folks, for talking so much about what seems like technical, but it's really not. It's really, obviously, if you know anything about technical analysis, you know I'm not a technical analyst. You can tell that from clearly I'm not doing that, right? I'm not showing you bars and triangles and wedges and giving you jargon like that, because that's not what I do. But this timeline means you've got another year to year and a half, okay, you got another 6 months to really start pounding the pavement, whether it be online or elsewhere, with your crypto project, right? To really put yourself in place. This is the time. Like, don't start in 6 months. You need to be doing this for the next 6 months. By the time that rolls around, if we start flattening out and start seeing a long, steady, maybe return to the upside, then you should be really accruing and accumulating more crypto customers, or whatever you're doing with crypto, over during that time period. Think of it as a land grab. Think of it as how Google tried to grab the search market in the early O's, how they did that, how Yahoo did it in the 90s, how how eBay became the dominant auction site. They weren't the first auction site, right? But they were the first successful one. And PayPal, how they became a successful online payment solution with fiat currencies. Like, how do they do that? Because if you don't know that story, you're missing out, right? How did Uber become Uber? If you don't know that story, you're missing out. How did Airbnb become Airbnb? What marketing secrets did they use? Do you know the Airbnb marketing story? Because that shit is legend, right? Pardon my French. But if you don't know how they did it, the answer is they hacked their way to growth significantly. Now, you could argue they did much more than that. Yeah. But if you know anything about them, you know that those who were there and those that did it knew fully well that without that growth hack, they would not have gotten to where they were so quickly. And they fully admit that. So it's one worth learning. I won't tell you the details of what they did in this particular episode because I've already covered that. So if you want to see how they did that or listen to how they did that, I think you can still listen to it on YouTube, on the tube of you. Okay, can we just... We're just going to close up the Bitcoin price because they're being annoying. Leave. And yeah, too much TA. I'll send you, obviously, we're going to move on from that. There is something I wanted to mention. I actually saw also a video from, the reason I went to the site is because of a video I saw from Chico Crypto. If you don't know who Chico Crypto is, he's a YouTuber. Check him out. Lots of people, I guess, enjoy his stuff, and he has some interesting topics sometimes. I think he has a lot of interesting topics, to be perfectly honest, and he has a, fun personality that presents it, and then he's talks about stuff in a very friendly and wonderful way that makes things clear, and usually fun, which is super. Like, great personality to talk about crypto. So shout out to Chico Crypto, who, when I saw this on his video, I'm like, okay, I've now seen this in 2 places. I think it's worthy of deeper investigation from a marketing point of view. And you know what? One of the best things I like about this is that, like most great services you probably use online, it's free. What? Yes, it's free. Like CoinMarketCap or whatever. It's free to use. It's free to check it out. And if you look at it, what is it? Well, okay, it looks a little familiar, like a table of coins here, right? With prices, volume, market cap, volatility, price change, price changes over time, volatility over time. But what's interesting is, first of all, you can do the usual export and stuff of the prices. What's interesting, you might notice, oh look, no Bitcoin Cash SV. I think that's interesting, don't you? Yeah, good. Well, there you go. So I guess they're saying there, yeah, we don't believe that that's a real project worthy of listing here. And there you go. I think they're right from the way it appears, whether that project is run and by whom. But what's great about this site, Enroyd, ENROYD.com, right? It's free, and what does it do? Well, not just looking at the market overview. And of course, you can look at the details of each coin. You click on it, and you'll see further details. In fact, let's just go open up the old Bitcoin one just so you can see it. And you can also go look out sentiment, market sentiment, which has graphs, correlations, adjusted price, oscillators, news. And probably the main thing that I think this is useful for is predictions, right? And this is a tool. Again, I'm not going to talk about how to use it to invest in all of that because I'm not going to do that. I'm not your investment analyst or advisor. But I'm going to talk to you about the marketing of this thing and where the insight is of the marketing of this thing, because that's really what we're here about. And the reason Enroyd is an interesting marketing case study in crypto, right, is because, first of all, it's free, open free software, right, that anyone can access on the web. And it shows you here, for example, if you look at the price of Bitcoin overview, whatever, blah, you've seen it everywhere. Go to the predictions chart. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Enroyd basically is artificial intelligence software using machine learning. And they're doing long-term price oscillation predictions. Okay, so the blue line here on this graph, which is the BTC long-term prediction graph, the blue line is their prediction of where it would be on a certain date, the mean prediction, right? Not the nice prediction, the mean one. And the top line is, from the blue line to the top line is the range of 95% of the probability that they expect it to be. Okay? So if you look at, today is February 1st, the prediction was that the mean would be 26.28. We're obviously not at that mean, but the top line was 45.49. So we are definitely within that range, right? Around there, $3,400 or something. And the lower line represents, from the blue line to the low line, represents a 5% possibility of their prediction, right? So they'll be within this range, within, there's a 5% possibility that they will be within the lower range, and there's a 95% possibility that they'll be within the higher range. That's the way they calculate this particular formula. Here's the daily prediction chart to give you an idea of, like, the prediction is 30.57, and here's the possibility, there's a 99% probability that they will be higher, and a 1% probability that they'll be lower than 30.57, right? And this is a daily predictor. And at the top end, it's 36.65, and 92 cents is the highest prediction price, and there's a 5% probability that the price will end up higher than that, at 36.65, and a 95% probability that it will end lower than 36.65. So this just helps you visualize each individual estimated price point, just to give you an idea. If you're thinking to yourself, okay, so if I want to buy, sell, trade, or whatever, I can visualize the probability that this calculator is determining, right? This AI machine learning thing is figuring out. And here they have a long-term prediction chart, gives you something from 4 weeks ago, so you can compare to their current record where they were. And if you look here at the graph of January, you can clearly see where their prices were, where they fell, where they were now, and you can see that they're, frankly, within their range. And you could argue, well, there's a very big range. Okay, yeah, that's true. But it is an indicator, and it might be useful to you, okay? And why do I mention this as anything to do with marketing? Well, because to me, it seems fairly obvious that the fact that they offer these tools for free to an ever-growing audience, even though we're in our winter now, it is over the years a growing audience, this is the time to build authority for tools like this. This is the time to say, hey, look, check it out. We have a little donate thing if you want. I mean, it's at the footer or whatever. Maybe they could do it, they could do a better job of showing that, be a little bit less shy. But they don't need to worry about that right now, because prices of all these coins are, whatever, fairly low, and there's not a lot of people that are interested. But this is the time to be building authority for their tool. And they're doing that, right? They're getting links from YouTubers, they're getting comments and reviews from people who use the tool, tweets from analysts who use the tool and want to tell other people about it, people who talk about AI stuff or, mentioning it here and there. It's starting to build some traction, right? And then some. And it's free still. Who knows how long it'll be free when a thing like this looks like it could be free forever, but it also looks like, hey, someday they might put a price tag on this. Or they might put additional features for a premium, but maybe not. Maybe they'll just keep it free, the way the best things are, when it comes to online services. Really, when I say the best, I mean, like, your Facebook account is essentially free, right? I mean, yes, you're agreeing to give your data, which makes it not really free. They make money on your data, which means it's not free to them. But, Facebook, Google, YouTube, Twitter, all the things you use online with any regularity, maybe you only use private stuff, you're still using that stuff. So these are the times, right, for these companies like Enroyd to be making these kind of tools available to as many people as possible in this market, and get people using their tool, and so they can build significant market share. And then, if they were interested in growing their business, doing that so that they would have a significant business out of this thing. Like, I don't know what their business model or business plan is, and I don't work for them. But it seems like a very useful tool. And if you look back at their actual history, you can track how successful they were with their means and their upper limits and their lower limits. And if that's helpful to like a user, whether they're an investor or just a long-term curious hodler or a researcher or an analyst or whatever, doesn't matter what they are, or a marketer, and they need to know how much money they're going to have this year because the price of Bitcoin is moving, fluctuating this way or that way. Those are all useful ways to use this thing, right? And this site can be very well presented. Like it looks, I don't want to say academic, but it's, it's still relatively wordy, and that's good because it should explain things. But it's not built, obviously, in a way that's like flashy and markety, right? It's very straightforward. This is the thing. This is how it works. And here it is. Here's the picture, and there you go. It explains the graph, right? It's very straightforward. It's wonderful. And maybe it doesn't need to change. Maybe this is the best way to do it. A/B test that, right? But right now they're not really A/B testing it. And it's just, that's what it is, right? It seems that they're doing the right thing. They're focused on making an amazing tool and making sure it runs well. And over time, hopefully it will, improve even in its artificial intelligence or machine learning capabilities and give you even more useful data. Because why? They're focusing on giving you a great, authoritative user experience and customer journey. They're giving you great navigation. It's really simple. Great UI, user interface. Great content. And what matters on the website really is content and navigation. Right? I've been saying that since more than 20 years. And they've changed the words for it. Now content is authoritative content. It's content. User experience. Yeah, we call that navigation. Okay, in the 90s. It's the same thing. The user experience. The things you see on the screen. It doesn't matter. It's not just the navigation bar. It's navigation, the whole experience. What you see on your left. If you look out the window on your right, you see us, Boise, or I don't know. Why do I always mention that city? Love you, Boise. All right. So anyway, they're delivering as high a quality experience as they seem to be able to deliver at the moment. I'm sure in time, if they wanted to, they could change this experience and make it much more visual, much easier on the eyes. All these explanations are great, but they all can be in pop-ups, or not pop-ups, but, hover kind of things. They can all be done away with, essentially. But I understand why they don't. They want their market to be educated and understand how this stuff works. So kudos to them. But they can make it more visual. It doesn't have to be like this. And this isn't, again, to say that they're doing a bad job. I don't think they are. I think they're doing a great job of providing an amazing tool, right? Available to anyone for free, just like Linux was free, just like all the great softwares are free, right? That's why people try them out. They're like, oh, this is awesome and it's free. I will sure try it out. Like, or it looks awesome and it's free, in a sense. It looks very powerful. Like when you hear, do you want to see Bitcoin predictions or crypto predictions of any price, and they're driven by machine learning, I think anyone in crypto might be like, okay, well, it sounds either like BS or maybe it's great. Let's take a look. And then you can quickly identify whether it's BS or not. And what I would like to see, so I'm going to look at this chart at least periodically, is I want to make sure that this thing is, actually spot on, right? As they say they are with the long-term prediction. So I'll, monitor their long-term prediction history to see that they're not jimmying the numbers. To do that, all you need to do is like a daily snapshot. You can even do a weekly snapshot, really, but just do a daily snapshot. Or every other day, it's fine, doesn't matter. And then when you do that, and you just compare, a few pictures over time, then you can see if they've been straight and honest with their numbers, because right there, I mean, they're putting their integrity and their name on the line there, so good for them, like for doing that. Or, I don't actually see the names of anybody here, but maybe there's, I'm sure you can read about it. Here we go, contact us, Enroyd Wiki. Surely you can look it all up if you really wanted to, but whoever put this out, kudos to them. I will look that up and get back to you guys on that. But follow us on the Twitter. You can always go to the old Twitter and follow them. This is very, like they built a great, useful tool. Everyone always says, "Oh, it's better to buy gold than to dig for it." Well, there's always going to be people who dig for it. Right? There's always going to be people who are looking for ways to get more, and this is a useful tool for digging for that gold, right? That proverbial crypto gold, data and analysis. So I think this pretty much is a prime example of how you take an idea, present it in an organic fashion without making it too flashy, right? If you have a small budget, for example, and if you just, want to make something and make it grow, you can see that the first thing to focus on is really the software itself, right? Like the idea, the whatever, the product, the service. Once this is grown, it can, assume a new life and take on other aspects of work that need to be done, like marketing and all these other things. But they have really put the right pieces in place at the first phase, which is to make a really awesome tool and available for free to anyone who uses it, right? You gotta hand it to them. Like, if this is honest, if this is good stuff, if this math is working, and it seems to be right on. If I look at all these prices, and over the past month, I can see, and I looked at it, before today, and he was also right on. So, on my initial glance, after initial reviews, having looked at it multiple times now, my initial overview or whatever review of the experience is that they have been right, at least at a few different views at different times, on different days, which means they do have a history, brief as it is, as far as I know, of being correct. And we could easily look back at the other prices available here and see that, the prices here back through January, they were moving very simple. Okay, they're not exactly spot on, but not bad. Like, really not bad. Right? So take that with a grain of salt, but I just think that they focused well on building a good product here, and that's the most important thing. If you're still here, by all means, comment, subscribe, like this video if you do, share it, do all that stuff, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get the notifications when we do videos and I explain the next topic for crypto marketing insights. Or just regular marketing insights. It kind of depends on the day and the topic that's at hand, because we do flip back and forth between those worlds quite a bit. It's always about marketing stuff. In any case, I want to thank you all again for listening and watching and being here. Your participation is very much appreciated, and I love you all more than you can know. And with that said, people, till the next episode, I wish you all very, very well. I hope you have the best of days. An awesome weekend. I think I might make a video on Sunday. We'll see. Maybe one tomorrow too. Who knows? Usually it's every other day, but we might add more. So, until then, well, you know what? Take care.